Welcome to another probability distributions video for level 3, our third video for binomial distribution. Now we know binomial has just two outcomes we often call success and failure, and there are four conditions we need to be familiar with for binomial. We have parameters of P, Q, and N. Alright, let's get straight into our example. We're going to show you how to solve problems on your calculator. Same problem, we've got multi-choice tests with 4 answers to choose from. Jesse's not studied and guesses the answers, and there are 10 questions in the test. So let's get into the first question. Part A, calculate the probability Jesse scores less than or equal to 4 questions correct. Now we could have a table set up or a graph, and when we say less than or equal to 4, we want to add up all the probabilities from 4 down to 0. Now often we don't have a table or there's a lot more numbers to add up, so we're going to show you how to solve this on the calculator. So we're going to go into binomial distribution, but this time we're going to use binomial cumulative distribution, which adds things up rather than just a single value. We're going to go into variable data and we're going to enter in our parameters. Now have a look at what parameters we're going to enter. P is the probability of success, that's 0.25. There's one chance in 4 of getting it right. N is 10, that's the number of questions. And X, now X is the value we enter that adds things up. So when we enter 4, your calculator is set up a specific way. Can't change it. And it's set up to add up everything less than or equal to some number A. So if I enter, well, A is X. So if I enter X as 4, the calculator is going to add up all the probabilities from 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now that's what I want in this question. So it's worked out perfectly, and I'm ready to go, and I get a probability which I'm going to round to 0.9219, 92.19%. All right, let's move on to part B. Calculate the probability Jesse scores less than 4 questions correct. Well, when I say less than 4, I don't include 4, so I want 3, 2, 1, or 0. So once again, I get into my calculator and look what I'm going to enter in for my X value. Remember the calculator is set up to be less than or equal to some number. So if I typed in 4, it's going to go 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 0. I don't want that. I want 3 down to 0. So now I have to enter in X is equal to 3, and it will add up all the probabilities from 3 down to 0, which is now what I want. And that gives me a probability, which I'm going to round probability of X less than 4 of 0.7759. All right, let's move on to part C. We're going to calculate the probability Jesse scores more than 3 questions correct. Well, once again, when I say more than 3, look at my table. I want either 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. More than does not include 3. Right, back into my calculator, and I'm now going to enter in, notice what I'm going to enter in for X. I'm going to enter X as 3. Now remember what we talked about, the calculator is only set up to add up less than or equal to some particular value. So when I enter 3 in for X, the calculator is going to add up the probabilities for 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now I don't want that section, I want everything else. So I'm going to be clever, and I'm going to take the answer I get from my calculator, and I'm going to subtract it away from 1, because the entire table adds up to 100%, or 1. So when I subtract it from 1, it gives me everything else, the region, the section that I want. So when I subtract 0.7759 from 1, I get the probability that X is greater than 3 is 0.2241. Right, our last question, calculate the probability Jesse scores greater than or equal to 5 questions correct. Well, when I say greater than or equal to 5, I'm allowed to include 5, so I want 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. So I go into my calculator. Remember, my calculator is only set up to be less than or equal to something. So look what I've put in for X. I've entered in X is 4. So the calculator is going to add up the probabilities for 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. I don't want that section. I want everything else this time. So I'm going to do the clever trick and take the answer from the calculator and subtract it away from 1 and get the probability that X is greater than or equal to 5 is 0.0781. Thanks for watching.